Hey, everybody, this is Pastor Crystal Jones from The Crystal Jones Show. And guess what? I am a guest today on the Keith Andrew Network, which is a wonderful network, and I support that network. So I hope you all will enjoy the show and continue to support Keith Andrew Network. Stay balanced.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Keith Andrew Network. Today is 659. That's right, Season 7, 659. And today's guest is the one and only, the pastor. And you're not just the pastor, you're also a talk show host. So it's a real honor and privilege to have you on the show. I just want to say thank you.
Oh, sure. It's a pleasure being a guest on your show.
Now, for people who want to know what my talk show is about, the whole point of my talk show is to show people that even with having a learning disability, I can still amount to something. And at the same time, I'm able to turn myself into an example for people out there dealing with any types of learning disabilities and disabilities to never give up and prove people wrong. Prove to them that labels do not dictate who you are and who you're going to be. It's to prove to them you can stem out to something. So hashtag break the labels. Now, for everyone out there, they can follow the Keith Andrew Network on YouTube. Go to YouTube, type in Keith Andrew Network, KeithAndrewNetwork.com, or hashtag Keith Andrew Network. All that will come up. Be sure to like and subscribe. Use hashtag Keith Andrew Network, and all my work will pop up. But this is not about me. This is about you. And I saw something very interesting why I wanted to have you on the show. And this is not the first time or going to be the last time where I had people of different faiths on the show, because I had a rabbi on the show. I had a priest on the show. And it does not change the fact that I ask the same exact questions. So don't think I'm putting the spotlight on you. Okay, you're in the spotlight, but I'm not going to ask you any uncomfortable questions. But if I do, you can just throw it right back at me. So fair is fair.
Okay.
So the first thing I want to ask you is, what came first, being a talk show host or being a pastor?
Well, pastoring came first. I grew up in the church. So growing up in the church, we went to, Bible study weekly. I went through being a choir director. Also, I grew up Pentecostal in the beginning. So in the Pentecostal church, we used to do plays and things like that. And my grandmother was a church mother. So she raised me in the church. And these were the things that we just did. She would, say, okay, they're going to have choir rehearsal for the young people. And I started out in church very young. So she put me in the choir at like 9 years old. And I was just doing it because, I respected my grandmother, and I really, wanted to do the things that she basically, would say for me to do. So she started off putting me in the choir and in the church plays. And, I just thought it was fun because there were so many kids there. We went to a small storefront church, but there were like over 100 children there. So to me, it was like, all right, we're going to have a good time. And we really did. We were like a family. And I grew up there, up until the time that I went away to college. So it was just a great experience for me. And I never knew that it would follow me into my adulthood. and as I got older, um, I continued with the music and stuff like that. But then when I started going to the adult Bible academies and things like that, that's when I felt my calling to start teaching and preaching the word of God. So that was how, the pastoring came in. But it came in many years later because I've been pastoring now. I was since like 2015, 16. So it's been like the latter years of my life that I really came into pastoring, even though I realized that that kind of was what I was doing all along, because teaching Sunday school, teaching Bible studies and things like that, a lot of times I was placed in positions to be really pastoral, but I guess I just wasn't really seeing that. I was more seeing myself as just teaching. So the pastoring came, afterwards. And then also along with the pastoring, of course, I'm a United States chaplain. So in New York State, I am a chaplain. Okay, chaplains we're the people that bring order out of chaos. Like, for instance, I did my training in chaplaincy at one of the local hospitals, Calvary Hospital, which tends to people that are at end of life care. So that's a ministry in itself, because you're ministering to people who they know that they're going to die. When they come there, they know that this is it. This is the end of the road. And that's got to be one of the most humbling things for a preacher, to sit in the face of someone that you can't tell them, oh, it's going to be all right. Or, you can't play it off. You really can't. And you have to listen to the person. You can't go there to evangelize them. Oh, come on, give your life to God, and all that kind of stuff. You cannot do that. You have to be okay with what their decision is at the end of the road. And you have to be able to be that comfort, in a sense, for them. And sometimes that means just sitting there and listening. Sometimes they've just said, can you just sit and watch TV with me, please? Or whatever it is that they want to do. What is their reality at that time when they come to the end? Sometimes they'll ask me, can you pray with me? Can you read me a scripture? And then, I'm very, I like to laugh and stuff like that. So people kind of like for me to make them laugh and things like that. So sometimes, I sit around just kind of, laugh with them, say funny things, or they may want to share things with you that have happened in their life. Or sometimes they're just not sure. They're like, well, I believe in God, but I don't know what's going to happen when I do die. So they may kind of want to hear from you. And then you've got to also be there for the ones who bust out and say, I'm angry at God. I'm angry. And then, and say, okay, I get that. I understand. You're angry at God because, you didn't think you were going to go, this way or this soon or whatever it is. And I tell them, it's okay. It's okay. You're a human being. You are going to feel this way, so let's talk about it. What are you angry with God about? Because he's waiting to hear from you, because if he created you, he knows you. So you can't play it off like, oh, I'm not angry. I'm cool. I'm all right. And deep down, you're like screaming like, why? So I give them that space. If and people have done that, they bust out crying. I'm angry because I was trying to do right. And, and it seems like, I'm at the end of the road. And what is this about? And you have to be there to sit and listen to them, let that frustration out. And I tell them, just because I'm a preacher doesn't mean that every prayer that I pray to God is a happy prayer or, oh, I agree with you, God. No, there have been times in ministry that I've been so upset with the Lord. So, like, I didn't know that was going to happen like that. Or, whatever situation I was in, I've I've always been honest with the Lord. Like, I'm upset. Like, I don't get this. Why? And I feel like you get your answers better like that, because he knows. And so sometimes he's just waiting to hear from you. He wants you to say, ouch. He wants you to say this, that, or the other. And then he's like, when you do that, he'll send something to show you what the answer to your situation is. Because every situation is different. No, everybody's not going to see an angel come down and all of this and that. It's just not. Sometimes it's just in the simple things in life.
I agree with you.
So, yeah, sometimes it's just something very simple. It could be a dog barking, you know what I mean? A dog barking because he needs a place to live. And maybe that's your answer. You needed a pet in your life. Or it could be so simple, because sometimes we make things so hard. So that's what a chaplain does. We make order out of chaos. If sometimes you see situations where people, maybe there was a family that on the other side of the Bronx where the apartment, everything like that. So the family died and the rest of the family is alive. And sometimes it's that they'll have several memorial services for that. And they just want you as a chaplain to sit there with them while they cry, because they have to let their grief out. So we just sit there with them. I'm not going to tell them, oh, don't cry, baby, don't cry. Don't. Hand them the tissues, hug them, whatever they need, you have to be there for them. And then when it comes to something like, I deal on a regular with incarcerated men. And each person, the story is going to be different with what they're going through, because the prison system, as we know, it's a crazy system.
Well,
some people,
I didn't mean to interrupt, but you did bring up good 2 points that I do want to talk to you about, but as soon as you're done. You brought up 2 very good points that I wanted to point out, but I didn't mean to interrupt.
Oh, no, that's okay. That's okay. But, in the prison system, you're dealing with people from all walks of life. And some of these people are there because they've never been shown the right way. And you might think that can't be because they're an adult, they're grown, they see people around them. But no, sometimes when you hear their story, some of them have come from some real bad situations. Sometimes you have people that is generational. They're in jail, the father's in jail, the uncle's in jail, everybody's in jail, or everybody's on drugs, or that type of thing. And even with that, you've got to be able to be there and say, okay, you're telling me that this happened generationally, but are you noticing that doesn't work? Are you noticing that type of life is not helping you? You say you have children. What kind of legacy are you going to leave for your children? What are you showing your children? And you owe it to your children to be the best person that you can be, because each generation, we should want each generation to do better than we did, So it's not too late. As long as you have breath in your body, take advantage. I try to encourage people, take advantage of the opportunities that they offer you, because some, especially when they're getting ready to leave prison and they're in a facility where they are able to get monies for education and licensing and things like that. Sometimes they may feel like, oh, Miss Jones, I don't want to do that, but listen, what are you doing that you can't do that? It's better to have something than nothing, because currently, from what you're showing me, you don't have a plan for anything. So what is your plan? A lot of time I stop them and say, what's your plan? What are you going to do when you get out of here? Or are you going to be repeat? Are you going to come back again and again? And you still hitting your head against that wall, And then you have the younger people that, they get caught up in like petty type crimes and things like that. And, you have to let them know with that, you're going to have to kind of change your friends, because if you're around people that are just, consistently doing these things, they're going to keep dragging you down. So not that you want to act like you're better than them, but in order to be that example, you're probably going to have to pull away. Find people that are going in the direction that you want to go. Even if they're doing way better than you are, learn the right way. Learn that way. Be around them. Hear what they have to say. Go to these different conferences and things like that. You have to help, better yourself. You have to stop this cycle, So, it's a lot of different things with chaplaincy. You can be called into any type of situation, You may have to negotiate somebody out of, a hostage situation or whatever. So it's many things. Being a preacher is not just standing behind a pulpit. It's like, and of course I grew up Pentecostal. I'm non-denominational now, but Christ was on the streets helping people from every walk of life, whether they need to be healed of something or delivered from something. He didn't turn his back on them and say, oh, well, you're not good enough. You're this, you're that. No, he was always on the streets, praying for people, helping them, that type of thing. So I have come to learn that we are the church. The building is not the church. We, the people, if we are going to spread the love of Christ, then people have to see Christ in us. We have to be, we have to become all things to all people so that we might win some. So that,
I agree.
So that they will have a better life, a better outlook on life and things like that. So it's a journey. It's a lifelong journey. And each stage that I get to is different. I keep learning new things all the time. And that's how you have to be. You have to be teachable. And things that teach you sometimes, most of it, a lot of time, is just life itself. Your experiences with yourself, your family, and also the people that you counsel and talk to, and even children. Sometimes I learn some of the, sometimes, my mouth is open sometimes when I hear some of the children, the young people talk, because at one time I didn't know that sometimes people who are in church are a little too overbearing for those who aren't. So when I would go out and talk to teenagers and things like that, they would say, wow, Pastor, I'm glad that you talked to me. I'm surprised you did, because I don't feel like people in the church want to be bothered with us. And I felt so bad, like, wow, would God want that for the young people to feel like they're not going to be accepted because of what their hair, their clothes, they're teenagers. we all, so it's like, I started having like different outlooks on that. So sometimes I would do things with the youth. At one time on Fridays, I used to do a youth ministry and do the things that they enjoy, so that they would feel that hey, God loves you too. It's really not that hard, So it's everywhere I turn, it's like the Lord just keeps teaching me through different situations and things like that. So in the midst of this, in 8 years ago, in the midst of me going through, I guess, my change with going into ministry and whatnot, I decided I wanted to have a television show because I wanted to bring my ministry to another platform. So in the midst of that, what happened, I decided to do a radio show first so that I could build up my courage. Because at one point I used to be very, very shy. And I really wasn't, I could get up and do a speech or something like that. But like, other than that, I was like really shy. So I said, let me build up my boldness. And I prayed about it. And I did blog talk radio for about a year. Then I was like, okay, I'm ready. It seemed like when I said I'm ready, it was like the door kicked open. And there was a course for television production people for a studio producer. And I took that course, and I knew I was going through that course to be a talk show host. So all through that class, that's what I did. I practiced doing a talk show host. I learned some of the technical things. I can do tech a little bit. I'm not really, that's not my love. So I went through all of that, and I started my talk show 8 years ago, and it's called The Crystal Jones Show, but it's a show about balance, life's balance. It's not about just like preaching, that type of thing. I have people on my show from all walks of life because even though you're in the church, you have to deal with everybody. You have to deal with the world because, like I said, you are the church. So you have to deal with people all over the world that do different things. And it's about community. It's about faith. It's about people. So sometimes I may bring a senator on. Other times I may bring a financial analyst on because, you may be of whatever faith base you are, but you need to know about finance. You may be faith-based, but you need to know, what does this senator have to offer you who runs for office? What is it that he does in your community? Because sometimes people can be so church-based till they're not balanced. They don't know anything else but, oh, I got to go to church. Oh, I got to read my Bible. Oh, you have to be able to function in society. Regardless, you have to be able to do that. So I bring on young people. Some of them do the praise dance, rap. Now they have gospel or faith-based rappers. Some of everybody, comes on the show each time, because people always say that. They say, I always love your show because you always have a good mix of people. Because I want people to know that there is balance in life. And then I also do teachings for people of my culture, Black history, so that they know the history of our people before we even came here, so that they know who we were over in Africa and things like that, that they know that our history did not start at slavery. So it's so many different things too that I touch on, with that as well. So, like I said, my show is my ministry because I don't have like a church building. I use social media platform. Sometimes I may go out to a church and preach or teach there, or go to, some kind of conference. I get invited to conferences and things like that. But I'm a pastor without walls. I go wherever God leads me, because everybody, needs to see God in us everywhere, all over, everywhere that we go in life, whether, like I said, whether you're up there at the prison, if you're with people at end of life, if you're with the senator, if you're with the president, whoever that, you're with or you're talking to, or whatever subject that you have to address, you have to be balanced so that everybody is going to learn something from it. And so will you'll learn too, from it as well.
No, absolutely. Now we're doing the wrap up because we used all our time.
Oh, okay.
How can people follow you on social media? Are you on Facebook, Twitter,
yes,
Instagram, LinkedIn?
Yes, I'm on Facebook at The Crystal Jones Show. You could just go there to The Crystal Jones Show. Also, I'm on Instagram. On Instagram, it'll be Crystal Jones, but it'll say C. Jeremiah. On Instagram, it says C. Jeremiah. But I think it shows up probably Crystal Jones as well as on the name. I do a lot of Facebook Lives. I also upload I do live shows from BronxNet Studios. However, right now, with it being closed, you can still go to my YouTube channel, go to the Crystal Jones TV show. You can see my latest episodes at my YouTube channel at the Crystal Jones TV show. And also, let me see, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Those are my main ones. Sometimes I do Periscope. You could go to the Crystal Jones Show at Periscope. And my pastoral page, Pastor Crystal Jones on Facebook. You could go to that page. My ministerial page, Balanced Lyfe Ministries. That's my personal ministry that I go by. So those are basically, where you would find me, on a regular. But like I said, mostly I do a lot of live on Facebook, and then you'll see my uploads from my television show on YouTube. So, and then soon you'll probably start seeing me on Zoom. So that's basically where you could, if you want to email me, the Crystal Jones Show at gmail.com.
No, absolutely. And hey, if you're ever interested, maybe you would want me to be a guest.
Definitely. Yes.
Now, my last question for you, wrapping up, but I do have a couple questions for you off the air. When I first approached you to be a guest on my talk show, what was your honest first reaction? What made you say yes? And after being a guest, how do you feel now?
I just, I didn't know, I had never heard of you, at that time. I didn't know who you were. So I was just interested in what was your, what was your purpose as far as your show and things like that. But it always offers a new opportunity for me. Because I always like I said, I like working outside of walls. So it's always when I see that, my antennas go up like, oh, okay, this is something new. So I always enjoy learning new things. So I was excited. I just, I looked to see what it was about. So now that I've been on here, I really, I appreciate this a lot, because this is right up my alley, something different. So thank you again for having me on your show.
No, I appreciate it. And I'm looking forward to part 2 down the road.
Okay.
Now, for our fans out there, make sure to like and subscribe to my guests. All her work. She's fantastic at what she does. And for me, make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel, KeithAndrewNetWork.com. Use hashtag KeithAndrewNetwork, and you get to see all my work. That's why I say thank you, and thank you for supporting the Keith Andrew Network.
Michelle Doherty.
Hey, I'm Laura Menino.
Hi, I'm Deborah Jensen.
I'm Linda Collins.
Hi, I'm Marissa Joy Davis.
This is Michelle Wong.
I'm Nancy Rose.
My name is Brandy Hunt. And
hello, my name is Raven Wynn.
Hi there, my name is Giovanna Vidal.
Hi, I'm Monica Thomas.
Hi, I'm Paisley Blackburn.
I'm Ashley Burgess.
Hi, my name is Jeanette Abney.
Hi, I'm Sharon Spank.
Hey, this is Samantha Moore.
Hi, I'm Melody Jones.
Hi, my name is Becky Yee.
Hi, you're watching the Keith Andrew Network.